And that is that. Unfortunately, at the Maradona, we've lost 2-1, and I feel deflated. That's the best adjective I think I can use because they were there for the taking. We could have walked away with something from that game. I feel really upset, really disappointed. It's a real shame that we lost this game. Look, going into this game, we were definitely the underdogs. Napoli have been better than us this season. They're at the Maradona. We have a horrible record there in recent years. We haven't won in the league at the Maradona since the 18-19 season, which is a long time ago now, 6 years ago. So the record was bad there. So everything was going in Napoli's favour. But at the same time, it was the best time to play Napoli. For me, this was the best point in time to play this team. And guys, I can't stress enough how much I hate losing to Napoli. Their fans are unbearable. They have the most unbearable fans in the world. Actually, in Italy for sure. Maybe in the world as well. They're not really on social media too much, so you don't see them as much. But trust me, they're unbearable, these guys. And now I know my comment section, my DMs, my Napoli friends are going to be giving me grief for the next 7 business months because they don't ever let it rest. So I hate losing to these guys, and we've come away with a loss. But the reason why I say it's the best time to play these guys, no Spinazzola until the second half, recovering from injury. But no Kevin De Bruyne, no Romelu Lukaku, no Anguissa, no Lobotka. They had 1/3 of their midfield. When is a better time to play them than now? There isn't one. They had nobody. They were feeding off scraps. They had Neres, okay, Buongiorno at the back. They had McTominay. They had a couple guys holding it down. But a lot of stars weren't there. So for me, it was like, this is the best time to play them. We're going in. We just had the best performance, in my opinion, in the Coppa Italia against Udinese under Spalletti. I'm thinking, yes, good time to play them. I'm nervous, of course. I always am in these big games. But it's a good time. Let's go in, fearless, brave, try and get a result. Win at the Maradona. It'll be a huge statement for our season. No, we've lost. Yeah! Before we dive into the whole analysis, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're very close to 20k subscribers. Like the video if you enjoyed, share it to some friends, but most importantly, comment below your thoughts because I'm always interested to see what you guys think. But let's break it down. First of all, we'll start, as always, on the facts. The facts of the matter, the momentum. It was mostly Napoli. I'm not going to lie to you. They were the better team over the course of the 90 minutes for sure, but I'll break down while they were there for the taking. Why? Ball possession 50-50, very skewed. It was like 65 at halftime. We got into the game more in the second half. Expected goals 1.59 compared to 0.2, which says a lot. 9 total shots. We had 5, and big chances they had 4. We had none, which again kind of tells you how the game goes. We didn't have much. But in my opinion, we went into, I don't know, what is the best saying? We went into the I don't know, the war, the battle with a stick. We didn't go in prepared because this was the lineup. Spalletti got the lineup completely wrong, guys. This was the wrong lineup. Di Gregorio in goal. Kalulu, Kelly, Koopmeiners. Okay. Cabal. Thuram, Locatelli, McKennie, Cambiaso, Conceição, Yildiz. 40% of the outfield players were in the wrong position. Conceição, Yildiz, Cabal, Koopmeiners. He's not a centre-back. He's not a wing-back. He's not a striker. He's not a striker. So 40% of our outfield players are in the wrong position. Koopmeiners centre-back, I don't actually have an issue with. I actually thought Koopmeiners did well there. And I think Koopmeiners has played his best football at Juventus in this left centre-back role. Against Udinese, he was playing in a double pivot. But of course, Gatti got badly injured, so we have no other option to play him centre-back. So the defence is exactly what I expected. What I didn't expect was Cabal to play. Cabal should not start for Juventus. Cabal shouldn't have started today, most importantly. I know he started against Udinese. But for me, if you're going to play a 3-5-2, Kostic has to start wing-back. He has to. Kostic has to start on the left. If not Kostic, you play Cambiaso on the left and play either João Mario or McKennie as a right wing-back. I would actually opt for McKennie because he's played there a lot this season, more so than João Mario. Cabal in that first half was getting spun like a Beyblade by Neres the whole time. He was out of position consistently. He didn't look comfortable on the ball. He was weak in possession. He lost the ball a lot. He's not even fully fit because he's just been reintegrated into the squad. I think this is the first league game he started this season in a game away from home at Napoli. For me, it was bizarre that he's starting this game. I looked at the lineup and I was thinking, nah, surely not. Surely he's not starting. It didn't make sense. For me, the lineup should have been black and white, quite ironic, like Juventus black and white. But it should have been obvious, clear, banale. It should have been... I could have come up with the lineup. You could watch it. Like, it was obvious what the lineup should have been going into this game. And Cabal was not in anyone's lineup. No one's starting 11. I really don't understand this decision. So Cabal, for me, should not have started. And you saw, he was struggling massively. He got hooked at half-time, rightfully so. It was the wrong one. It was the wrong move. The wrong move for him to start. Wrong move. Look, as I'm speaking, my friend who's a Napoli fan is trying to call me. He's trying to break my balls. He's trying to call me. I'm not answering. You think I'm answering? He's at the game. He's going to be trolling me. You think I'm answering? Hell no, am I answering? I put my phone on D&D. He ain't getting response. I'm not replying to that guy for at least a week. I don't want to hear from him. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, Cabal. He should have started for me. Then, where, like, to me was crazy, was Conceição Yildiz as the two-man attack. Guys, what? Luciano, where does this one come from? We have never seen, ever at Juventus, since both of these guys have played in the first team, Conceição and Kenan as the strikers together. Never. We've never seen it. We've seen Kenan play here next to Duzan before, and it's never worked because he's always, we're opting for the long ball, and he's struggling to get on the ball. He's struggling to get on the ball in this position. Kenan can't affect the game as a striker or a second striker. He can't. He just can't. He cannot affect the game in that position. But Conceição, Conceição has never played there in his life. He's like 5'4", so he's not going to win a single aerial duel. And the amount of times we played the long ball into him was bizarre. It was like, it was hot. I felt sorry. It was like, why are we doing that? Locatelli trying to pin balls over the top to Conceição. What duel is he going to win against Buongiorno, who's like 6'3", physically superimposing? It was wrong. It was completely wrong. It was wrong. He shouldn't have been there in this position. He shouldn't have been there. The lineup was wrong. The lineup should have been. Do you want me to tell you what the lineup should have been? It should have been Di Gregorio, Koopmeiners, Kelly, Kalulu, Cambiaso, Miretti, Thuram, Kostic, Kenan on the left, David down the middle, Zagrova on the right. That's what the lineup should have been. And if you really want to say Zagrova's not fully fit yet, start Conceição on the right there. But that should have been the lineup. Because Miretti midweek against Udinese played the game of his life. Every time Miretti's played this season, Bodo Glimt, Udinese, he's looked like a breath of fresh air in that midfield. He's technically good. He moves the ball with speed and pace, something that Locatelli struggles to do. He's very slow on the ball. Miretti, Fabio, me, whatever you want to call me, moves a lot more with urgency, intensity. And after the performance he dropped, he should not have been... After the performance he had, he should not have been dropped. Okay? Or if you want to say to Locatelli and Miretti, I do not care. It should have been Miretti and someone else. It doesn't matter. Thuram, Locatelli, McKennie, I don't care in the double pivot. It should have been Miretti and someone else. That's what it should have been. Kostic on the left, because Kostic offers a lot offensively. His final ball, his pace, his power. He's better than Cabal. Cabal's not even a wing back. Cabal played left centre back for the majority of his career at Verona. Or a fullback and a four-back. Cabal doesn't offer a lot offensively. Kenan has to play on the left because Kenan has to be on the ball. Kenan has to be pointing Di Lorenzo. He never pointed Di Lorenzo once because of his positioning. Di Lorenzo is so beatable one-on-one, and we barely saw that matchup because he was always in the wrong position. The fact that we didn't start with a striker is insane to me. Of course the game changed from the 50th minute to like the 70th, whatever it was, until Napoli scored because Jonathan David came on. He could at least hold the ball up a bit. There was runners off him, Yildiz, Conceição, guys were playing off him, Kostic, Thuram. There was more urgency, we were moving the ball quickly. And that's what frustrated me. We were going into this game without a striker. How could, to me, I was thinking, you can't turn up to the Maradona without a striker. You cannot. David had to start. David has to start every game if Vlahovic isn't playing. David is our number one striker if Vlahovic isn't there. It's clear, bro. And again, like Miretti, David had a great performance against Udinese in the cup. He scored. He should have scored again. The goal was wrongfully disallowed. It was his best performance in black and white. I didn't understand why he was dropped. I really didn't, guys. I really didn't. And of course the game changed when David came on. Of course. And the goal we scored, it was really well worked. Really well worked. Quick passing. That's a transition team. We let them have most of the ball. So obviously I knew we were playing in transition. But we weren't because you moved the ball too slowly in transition. The whole point of a transition is you hit them on the break. You hit them quickly. Perfect transition team to study. I don't know if the first team does like studying, montages and games. Perfect transition team to study is Klopp's Liverpool. Those guys killed teams in transition. Those guys were the perfect transition team. Move the ball quickly. Get it out wide. And the thing is, where are our strongest assets in this team? Where are our most creative, technically gifted players? Oh yeah, Kenan and Zagrova. Out wide, like Salah and Mane for Liverpool with Klopp. Those are the most reliable creative assets we have. Do you understand? And the goal came from moving the ball quickly. To Ram, moving it in. To, I think it was McKennie who laid it off to, I think, Conceição. Back to Yildiz, over to McKennie. McKennie lays it into Yildiz. And of course, it's a great finish from Kenan, who's our best player, who to score today, despite having very few touches of the ball. He was look at this, like he was barely on the ball. Kenan was barely on the ball today. He had 41 touches. Yildiz had 41 touches. He needs to have at least triple that. At least, bro. Look at this, successful. He didn't have a success. He was barely on the ball because he was in the wrong position for most of the game. And he still scored and he took his goal beautifully well. But we played well for 10 minutes. And why I'm disappointed is because at that point in time, okay, we've started the wrong formation, okay. But we got Napoli on the back foot. The intensity of the game has increased massively. The game is very, very open now. It's very open. The intensity has risen. The pressure is on. The game is there for the taking. Take it by the scruff of the neck. What does Luciano Spalletti do? He makes a double sub. Well, before he brings on Kostic, which I'm thinking, okay, fine. Cambiaso's a bit tired. Okay, whatever. He makes a double sub of Miretti, which I wasn't against, and a Penda. And he hooks Kenan and Conceição. My bro, wrong subs. You cannot hook Kenan. You can't. You can't do that. You cannot take Yildiz off, guys. You cannot take Kenan off because Kenan is our most creative player. At that point in time, when it was 1-1, Kostic just came on. You needed to keep Kenan on the left. You needed to bring Zagrova on. Zagrova should have been brought on in the 60th minute, 65th minute, around that period, to try and give him a good run of minutes, not another 9 minutes, because I think he's played 9 minutes. Like he's played no more than 9 minutes this season in individual games. Sorry. You needed to bring him out earlier. But having Kenan and Zagrova and David in the middle is a nice attack. It's a nice front three. Apenda came on, but Apenda doesn't offer us much compared to Kenan because Kenan is a creative player. Kenan needs to be on the ball. Kenan will do the giocata from nothing. Apenda is an attacker who's very quick. He relies his game on his speed and acceleration. But against a low block Napoli, who are 2-1 up, who are defending for their lives, where is he going to find space in behind? He's not. He's not. So you need people that need to be on the ball to try and unlock their defense, which Zagrova did when he came on. There was that chance at the end where, okay, at the end it was a weak shot and Milinkovic-Savic made a good save. But it's moments like that where you need these players to change the game and raise the level. Yildiz should not have been subbed off. It was the wrong sub. So for me, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking Spalletti put the wrong 11 out. He made the wrong subs. We conceded because of that. We conceded because it's our fault. Then if you want to go over the 2 goals, which I actually haven't gone over, which I really need to go on, we let Højlund score 2, which is really frustrating because Højlund is like one of the most average strikers I've ever seen in my life. Actually, at United, he was very subpar. He was one of the worst Premier League strikers ever. That's a fact. He had the least touches for any outfield player with 24, and somehow he scored 2. The first goal. Cabal's out of position, first of all, as I said. Cabal was too tucked in here. He was sort of in this area, too tucked in because he's not a wing-back. He didn't cover the flank, and Neres was left one-on-one with Koopmeiners. He puts in a ball. Kelly is marking Højlund, and Kelly loses his man. Kelly lets Højlund get in front of him on the near post. You can't do that. That's a basic defensive error. Basic. Error. There, straight off. You can't do that. You watch your man, you get in front of him, always. Goal side. No. That's 1-0 inside 7 minutes, I think it was. 5, 6, 7 minutes, whatever it was. Error. The second goal, cross comes in. McKennie, instead of clearing away from goal, heading it away, he headers it across goal into Højlund, and it's a tap-in header. Across goal into him. And it's like, we've just gifted them the 2 goals. That's why I'm annoyed. Because they were lacking 4, 5 starters. We gifted them both goals. We put the wrong 11 out. We made the wrong substitutions. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything that went wrong was because we made errors. It's all on our half. If we had lost this game 3-4... You remember when we lost like 5-1 to them in January 2023? It was one of those where it was like, oh, this is a bad loss, an embarrassing one, right? But it was like, they're too good at football. They were too good for us in that season. They were too good. They were the best team in the country, by far. They were way better than us. They killed us in that game. This game, it's like a loss to them again, but it's like, it's down to us. It's down to us. That's the reality. So that's why I'm frustrated. It's just annoying. Now, the last thing I want to touch on, right? I don't want to talk about Napoli players. Couldn't care less about them. In terms of if I want to speak about it briefly, Conte is the best manager in the league. He had them really well drilled. Their positioning in terms of their defense was perfect. It was really hard to break them down. They dominated the ball. When they had the ball in the final third, they created a lot of actions. They created a lot of chances. That was it. Neres is a really, really technically gifted player. Very, very good baller. I thought Elmas was really good, despite him being a winger playing in the middle of the park. McTominay ran the show in the middle of the park as well. They were really good, Napoli. Really well organised. My last point I want to touch upon that I don't know if every Juventus fan has really realised is the lack of ability to defend corners. It's something that is worrying because in the first half, we genuinely almost conceded 3 goals from set pieces, 3 corners, short corners. That's the first thing. I said this before and I'll reiterate. We always mark zonally. You cannot mark zonally. You can't. Because we're not capable, first of all. And secondly, marking man-to-man is easier. So I don't know why we don't do it. Yeah, it's not new age and it's not trendy anymore. It was sort of like man-to-man was like 90s, 2000s, early 2010 stuff. And then football changes, whatever. But we should mark man-to-man. Because when you have players like McTominay, Rahmani, Belkema, Buongiorno, Højlund, 2 guys. These are 2 guys that are good in the air. You have to stay on them. He had a chance that just went wide twice. I think he hit the post. Like, these guys were a threat from corners throughout the whole game. And we couldn't defend them. You got to mark man-to-man. You got to put guys like Kalulu, Kelly, 2 guys, Thuram, on these physical specimens to defend. And when you mark man-to-man, it's easier. You're like, okay, every single time, Kelly, you're always on McTominay. Kalulu, you're always on Højlund, no matter what. Thuram, you're always on Buongiorno. You know who your man is. Then the rest will grab it. I don't know, a short guy like Cabal will take whoever else is in the box. I don't know, Oliveira, or I don't know, as an example, right? But you try and neutralize the big danger zones, which are the Buongiornos, the McTominays, the Højlunds, the guys that are big and a threat in the air. That's another thing I noticed. And honestly, defending corners, we need to work on that in the training ground because we're leaking too many chances from that. It's basic stuff that we need to work on. Now we have to look at the table. We are 7th, 3 points above Sassuolo, 1 point behind Como, 4 points behind Roma. This is where I'm getting frustrated. Because Roma lost to Cagliari today. Cagliari done us a solid. If we had won today, we would be 1 point off top 4. And our next 2 league games are against Bologna and Roma. Guys, I'm going to break it down real quick. To qualify for the Champions League, or to be the leader to qualify for the Champions League, we have to win our next 2 games. We have to. There's no 2 ways about it. We have to win these head-to-heads. We have to. Head-to-head so far this year, we've not looked great in. Drawn to Atalanta, drawn to Milan, lost to Lazio, lost today, beat Inter, but I think that's the only head-to-head we've won. We lost to Como. We have to beat Bologna, and we have to beat Roma. We have to. So it's disappointing because even if we drew today, it would only leave us a win away from Roma to tie. Which obviously a draw would have been better than a loss. That goes without saying. But I'm just a bit disappointed really because as I said and I reiterate, it's kind of just us that shot ourselves in the foot today. I'm not going to say fair play to Napoli. They played us off the park because overall I thought they were the better team over the course of the 90 minutes. They definitely created more chances, but the goals that came were down to us and our defensive errors. But let me know in the comment section what you thought. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, share it to some friends, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Sempre Forza Juve. We will be back stronger than ever. We got Paphos midweek, which is a must-win in the Champions League. We have to win to try and secure qualification. Then we got Bologna, must-win. We just got must-wins. We got must-wins coming up until Christmas. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.